Shadow Generations 1 year and a bit later. Does it still hold up? Is it any good now that all the hype has died down? Well. I recently sat down and replayed Shadow Generations, the spiritual successor, oddly, to both Sonic Generations and Shadow the Hedgehog from 2005. Both games I have an extensive history with. Sonic Generations being one of my favourite games of all time, and Shadow the Hedgehog being one of the first games I ever played, and the game that taught me what pain was when I decided as a kid to complete the entire thing.
Pinwheels! Pinwheels in my head! Voices! Angry fish!
But nonetheless, the thing that the game did have was aura. That's right, in Shadow the Hedgehog 2005, the one thing you could not say was that there wasn't an atmosphere, an amazingly dark, awesome atmosphere. You could not deny that behind all the cringe and bad decisions was pure badassery. Black Doom to me was such a cool addition to the lore, and I'm so happy that they decided to bring him back for this one. Not only him, but they also brought back Maria and Gerald Robotnik in such an amazing and respectful way. These two really did elevate this story in an unbelievable direction, and I can't believe it holds up so well multiple playthroughs later. The relationship and dynamics they have with Shadow absolutely blow any other recent storytelling out of the water, and made me fall in love with these characters all over again. The ending scene with Shadow running past Rouge and a tear falling back behind and hitting her in the face will always be a 10 out of 10 watch. So emotional and so powerful, it always resonates with me. However, this time around, I did notice little details in the other scenes, a lot more than before. Like when Shadow is losing his temper and Maria stops him. During this scene, in the background, you can see Maria reacting and watching Shadow's body language. Not only does this small detail make the game feel more expensive and higher in quality, adding in these smaller animations, but it also shows just how caring Maria actually is, and how she really knows Shadow by the way she calms him down so quickly and reminds him of who he is, and that this anger really isn't him. I love how Black Doom is used here, trying this time to break Shadow by corrupting his DNA and powers as well as mentally messing with him. In my headcanon, the reason why he uses Radical Highway when interacting with Shadow between the levels, apart from the obvious nostalgia in real life, is because this is one of the places Shadow was at his most darkest. He had just woken up after 50 years and has so much hate and anger towards the humans. And on top of that, the iconic bridge is where he was brewing before launching an assault through the city. This is where he would have been thinking about Maria and everything that had just happened on the Ark in his mind. So the pain and the anger would have been super raw in this very spot. This is just my take, of course, though. The story overall is just fantastic, and I hope the writers of this one continue bringing respect back to the series in future installments. But besides from the beautiful story, we also have incredible gameplay. We have two forms of gameplay here, 2 acts per stage. Act 1 gave us 3D and Act 2 gave us 2.5D, keeping in line with the traditional base game Sonic Generations. I'm not a huge fan of 2D, especially not in my 3D Sonic games, but they crushed it here. They crush 40'd it. I had so much fun with the 2D levels here that I had to highlight them. Yes, 3D levels are my favourite, and this is why it's so surprising that after walking away from this game, I love the 2D acts almost as much. Like for example, Act 2 of Space Colony Ark, I think is on par with the 3D version. So much fun, high speed action with that killer soundtrack cranking the whole way through really gets your adrenaline pumping. Multiple pathways and everything else really made these stages stand out. They were absolutely amazing, and this is true for every single level in this game. To be honest, I don't think there's a single bad one in sight here. The only weak one I can think of is Act 2 of Chaos Island, sadly, which wasn't bad, but it just felt unnecessary. Like, Act 1 was pretty solid, not the best, but still pretty solid, with some excellent scenery and great gameplay, but Act 2 just didn't expand upon it at all in any meaningful way. Still not bad though by any means, still pretty fun, just kind of unnecessary I thought, didn't add nothing new. The absolute magnum opus though in this game is of course Act 1 of Kingdom Valley. Whoa. They truly made one of the best looking levels in all of Sonic's history. This thing looks like a picture came to life, especially that ended with the water walls around you. This level is so much fun, trying to speed through and continuously find new ways to keep you engaged. Multiple pathways and the momentum feels so good here. Jumping off ledges and everything, it's beautiful. They've done it so well. Apart from the levels, we also have several boss fights here, and all of them again are great. I love how in the base game Sonic Generation, Sonic fights Perfect Chaos, now in his normal form, no longer needed to be super like he was back in the adventure game. And we have a pretty good contrast here with Shadow fighting Metal Overlord, again a character who previously had to be defeated via Super Sonic in Sonic Heroes. I just love how this shows how much more powerful these guys are now. It's some good progression to see, some great continuity and world building. The best fight however in this game has to be the final boss against Black Doom. It was so much fun incorporating all the new powers and abilities you've acquired throughout the game with a very satisfying ending. A close second that I really want to mention would be Mephiles. I can't believe they brought one of my favourite characters back. I absolutely love the direction they took him here as well, having him be desperate to return to the main timeline and Shadow not even remembering him. Some really good continuity again, and it paints the picture that the forgotten 06 timeline is like some forgotten void dimension, that it's so bad Mephiles wants to escape desperately. It's really cool to think about and paint some excellent imagery in your mind. Despite this, the actual fight itself is so fun. Mashing through Mephiles and his army of minions is so entertaining, and he has many forms and stages throughout this boss fight. However, Mephiles definitely earned more points due to the story heavy continuity continuing from 06, as that is one of my favourite Sonic games of all time. So of course I was going to be a little bit biased to this one. However, if I had to judge the boss fights solely on gameplay and mechanics, I'd have to say my second favourite was the Biohazard. It was a big improvement over the goated version in SA2, despite me really liking that one. I just like how this one controlled much better, and that the Bio-Lizard had a lot more stages throughout the fight, keeping it fresh and entertaining the entire time. I just wish they would have kept the gaps in the floor, because having the floor be solid in this one so you can't float away on the water made it a little bit too easy. Still a great boss fight though. If there was one complaint I had with this game overall, and there really is only one to be honest, other than some minor nitpicks, is that sometimes when using the boost it can feel a little slow. I think I saw someone talk about this before and they hit the nail on the head. The camera is a big part of why you feel so fast in a game like Sonic Unleashed compared to here, and I think that's true. That mixed with a little bit of weird momentum can make you feel kind of slow at times when boosting. It kind of feels like you're not actually moving that fast. Countless times I would be running up a wall or on a rail and boosting at the same time, and the aura of the boost looked great. It just felt like I was kind of walking almost. It was really bad at points. However, this isn't always the case either though, as double jumping at the right points and spots and boosting mid-air off ledges and rails can send you flying, creating some absolutely mesmerising gameplay, making it extremely fun to replay and speedrun. So 1 year later, and yeah, I'd say this game holds up extraordinarily well. It's a joy to replay, and I'm always excited to put the disc in the console and give it another go. I really hope that we get some sort of sequel, standalone Shadow game in the near future, as this was perfect. If you liked what you saw, please like and subscribe. We're trying to build a community here, and every like and subscription really does help us. Until the next one, take care and be safe out there.
Shadow Hedgehog. This is the destiny I choose. Now, to end this! Shadow